Hi guys, back with part 2 of this, finishing up this little cutie. I spent a little bit of time today painting her bag and dry brushing her feet, and I noticed that I have a little bit of a smear right here. I guess I must have done that last night when I was doing her little dots. When I touched back here, I think I might have put it on the front of the pumpkin face right there, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm going to try to cover it up with the pastels. I did go ahead and put some of the jack-o'-lantern orange. Hi, Lena. Hi, Leanne. I put a little bit of that jack-o'-lantern orange on her lips, and then I just put a thin little coat of this tangerine ultrafine glitter on the top of her lips. You know, normally, thinking back to working on this last night, I wish I would have actually waited to paint the eyelashes on there, because it would have been fun to do some makeup on her, like some eyeshadow on her little eyes. But because I've already painted the lashes on there, the pastels will actually change the color of the black. So I'm going to have to use that as a fail forward lesson and remember for the next one that when I get ready to do the shading, I'm going to want to wait and do her lashes very last. So what I'm going to be working on today is I'm going to shade her face with the pastels, and we'll put a little bit of blush on her, and then hopefully be able to get down here. I thought I'd paint some little ghosts on the boo bag. I thought about doing some plaid on her shoes to kind of match all the other colors in here. So I don't know. So we'll just see how it goes. So starting out, I'm going to work on just pasteling her face. We're going to contour her face. Hi, Linda. Hi, Marianne. Oh my gosh, you guys, everybody's watching. Thank you so much. I'm going to be working with the Black Swirl round watercolor brushes, and these are on Renee's website, GammiesHappyBees.com. These are my new brushes for pasteling. And I believe this price is right on here. These are the round watercolor brushes that come in the kit, and it looks like $27 maybe. I don't know if I have these in the right container, so don't quote me on the price. But those are the watercolor brushes that I'm going to be using. And I've got a couple of different colors up here. I'm going to start with this brush. This is the number 3. And I did use this in my permanent red extra dark shade that I was working with the other one. So I'm going to use this old t-shirt. I'm going to make sure I get all that red out of there before I start working on this, because I don't want any red in my burnt sienna that I'm going to be shading her face with. So I just want to make sure we get all that out of there. So we're going to be working with her face today. Oh, Linda, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Hi, Amanda. So happy to see you here. So I'm just going to work all that paint out of there, all that initial color. I'm going to be working with just the regular burnt sienna. And let me just talk about the couple of colors I have here. I've got permanent red to do the shading on the pumpkin and the orange. Hi, Becky. And then I've got I've got 2 different oranges here because I want to actually try something tonight. I have the regular orange, which is PanPastel orange. And then I also have the pearlescent orange. So this is PanPastel pearlescent, and this is like, I think this might make a really nice color to put on her cheeks, like as a blush. You know, because and I don't know how it's going to work, so I thought we would just give it a try, because I don't get to use the pearlescence very often. So I think this orange might be a little bit too, my brush cleaner's here, it's somewhere, but I still have, you should see my office, Renee. I have stuff everywhere, and boxes and polystyrene, like full polystyrene sheets in my office, the 4x8 sheets. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have so much stuff in my office. I don't know which way's up right now. So I'm kind of just still working. I'm using the same colors on all my projects right now because those are the paints that I know where they are. Oh, yeah, the black turned out good, huh? And actually, we're going to do some white highlights on that to really make it pop out. But I want to go ahead and do the detail. I want to go ahead and shade her face first. And if you guys could let me know, because I was watching Renee's live a little bit ago on the stencil demo, and my phone kept freezing. And I don't know if it was her internet, but I remembered a bunch of people were commenting on my video last night that it was freezing. And also that's because my phone died, I think. So my phone just died. That's why everything cut off at the end there. So I don't know if it was my phone that was causing the problem or the video I was watching today might have been Renee's internet. But anyway, if you guys have issues with that, please let me know. So somebody messaged me and said this is supposed to be a boy, but guess what? Da-na-na-na-na-na. I made her a girl, so drink the haterade, guys. I'm going to make her so cute. I put little earrings on her. I just think she's adorable. I think she's adorable as a girl, and I love her purple hair. So, let's go ahead and start with the burnt sienna. I'm going to use the number 3 round watercolor. Going to just pick up a little tiny bit right on the end there. Don't need a lot. And, you know, if you were working with a different color that you definitely don't want mixed in there, I would just go ahead and, like, really put that color on the brush. I did have red on here before, so I'm going to go ahead and work some of this out. I just want to make sure I get all that red out because these things are so concentrated. If you don't clean them really well, then you end up with multiple colors on your thing, and you don't want that. So, hi, Marie. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think she's totally fine. Let me see. Okay, let's try this. Okay, you guys still let me know if it's freezing, okay? Okay, so I've got this brush cleaned up pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and start up here in this corner of her hair right here. I'm going to go up to the eyebrow. Now, you know, if you want to use a darker, it's the technique I'm teaching you guys. So if you were doing like an African-American skin tone or any other kind of a darker skin tones, you know, you're doing the same technique with your shading as, you know, the colors don't matter so much. It's the technique that we're teaching here. Okay. So it looks like I went way over on my black right there in the hairline. I don't know what I was doing right here, but this is like way excess paint, but it's on there now, so I'm leaving it. Sorry. This is just for me, this set, so I'm not going to stress too much about this. Let me see about my next size up. Hang on one second. I feel like I might need a number 5 here. So I've got some, looks like some black in here, a little bit of black, so I know that I do have brush cleaners and stuff, you guys. Oh, here it is right here. This is another thing that you can use with your pastel brushes because you don't ever want to wet these brushes. I never wash my brushes. So I don't know if Renee has these on her website. I got this from her. So this is just a really nice little thing that you can use to make sure you got that excess powder off there. Okay. So I'm going to switch to this number 5. It's a little bit bigger, and I feel like I'm going to get a little bit more of a pull out here in this corner. Because, you know, if you use too small of a brush here, then you're not going to get a very nice blend. And so that's why those little tiny brushes sometimes can be a hassle with doing the pastels if you don't use them right. I feel like I may be able to switch back to the smaller brush once I get some of this darker area down here done. I really should have covered that up. I made a mistake on the hand and I went back and it's not covering up very well right here. But I also don't want a tremendous amount of powder down here. So shoot, I should have covered that up. We'll try to work that out and see if I can cover it up a little bit more. So first I'm just kind of laying this color down here. I'm really excited. I've been thinking about all the more details I'm going to paint on this little girl, on all of her clothes and stuff. And I think plaid on her shoes would be so cute. I just don't know if I can pull off plaid because of these bends. I don't know how it would look, so I'm going to think on it. So we're going to get all this underneath side here. So I can see I'm going to have a pretty deep shadow. I'm going to come back in and go ahead and add another layer here. And I'm just going to keep blending that in a circular fashion, because I'm going to have a pretty deep shadow underneath the chin, so that can come out pretty far. The important thing when you're working with pastels is how you're holding your brush. You know, it needs to be in a pretty horizontal position. I like to hold mine up high, because that really ensures that you're holding it this way and not this way. You never want to use your pastels. The key is to, you know, the reason why we use these pointed tip watercolor brushes is because we want to push that powder up into the very crevice line where those two colors meet. We want to push that powder up there so you can't see any of that underneath color where those two colors meet there. So when you're using that pointed watercolor brush, it pushes that powder up into those crevices. And then once you get it laid down, you can come back and holding it in a really horizontal position, come back and blend, just blend all that out of there. It's really, I can see, like, I'm just going to show you guys, because obviously I still had a little bit of whatever color this was in here. It might have been black. I don't know. It might have been the permanent green extra dark shade. But I'm holding it up really close so you can see. Right here, I can see green. I can see a tinge of green right here in my brush. I don't know if you guys can see it because the lighting might not be so great. But this is why it is really important to make sure that you get all the previous color out of your brush. I guess you could probably use water on them. You know, I never have. I don't like to get them wet, so I guess maybe, I really don't know. I think it would be fine, but I just don't know how the pastels, you know, once they get wet, I don't know how much they would stay in the brushes. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Susan. So that's why I generally just wipe them on a cloth and then kind of go about my business, you know. But one way you can really kind of protect yourself is once you clean it, then lay it. And I didn't do that with this brush. Remember, I did it with the first one and then we swapped brushes. So I would just load that up with whatever color I'm using and then come back here and wipe the excess off, just to make sure I've kind of blended out whatever previous color was on there before. So it's going to be kind of it looks like it might have a little bit of a green tinge down at the bottom, but you wash yours every once in a while, Renee? Do you just wash them in like just water, or what, how do you do it? Love to know if you guys wash your brushes, because I don't ever wash the pastel brushes. So, all right, so I'm kind of laying my color down here. I'm just framing the face out to start. Okay, now I know because of the shape of the face, I'm also going to have a shadow on the inside of the nose here, or on the inside of the nose, right where the eye starts. So we'll kind of create a little shadow right here. I'm gonna come in and do that on this side. Holding my breath, you guys. I still actually hold my breath a lot when I paint. Okay, and then I'm just going to come down from the tip of the nose right here on the side. I'm going to create a little shadow line right down to the underneath of her chin. Just using a tiny little bit of powder. I'm just kind of trying to outline where I want my contouring to be. I'm going to come back up here and kind of blend this out here. Okay. Come back on this side. Want to go all the way to the side of the nostril. Down. We're creating like a little round cheek right here. Okay, looks kind of weird right now, but, you know, stick with me. Okay, now I'm going to come up to the side of the eye right here. I go ahead and go under the eye. I'm going to go over to the cheekbone, to the ear right here. She's starting to look like a little scary. Maybe we should should we make her a scary? No, she's cute, but I could make her scary. I could turn her into like a patchwork doll. I could put like stitches on her face and make her look scary. Oh my gosh, Jenny, you're so sweet. I just here to teach you guys. I mean, I'm Kim. Let me see. Let me answer Kim's question right here. Came in late. Which found pastel are you guys? I'm using burnt sienna. This is probably the color that I use more than anything, because burnt sienna, you can use this for any skin tone. You can add white to it to make a lighter skin tone, and you can add black to it and brown to it to make like African or darker skin colors. So this one particular shade right here is the most important pan pastel color to me, hands down. Just because I do a lot of this kind of, a lot of faces, and I like to contour because it really makes a huge difference. So, so yeah, this one is by far probably the one that, and I don't know if you guys know this, if you don't have I put a link to the 20 kit pan pastel set in the comments. That's the one that I started with, and I love the 20 count set. It's very affordable. I think it's $48. You get 20 great colors that you can lighten and darken however you want. You can mix them. It's got all the primary colors in there, black, white. And it's a great starter set. So I put the link to that. But PanPastels also makes just a skin tone set. And I actually have the skin tone set on my website. It's black, white, all 4 burnt siennas. And I think there might be one other color in there. I'm not sure. It might be the colorless blender. I don't really talk about the colorless blender with you guys, but they have a colorless blender as well, that if you don't want to add more powder down and you just want to blend, you can use that. I have that somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's not in my Pan Pastel kit, which is weird, but I think I had 2 of them. I don't know. I've misplaced it somewhere. So, but anyway, yeah, just like you guys, I'm just painting. I don't know if you guys want to watch, that's awesome. But like, this is just me painting at home. I'm working on this set for myself. And if I can teach you guys how to use them, I'm more than happy to. I love that you guys want to hang out with me. So I'm just going to create a little bit underneath the nose here. I need a little shadow under the nose. And I'm just barely putting a tiny, tiny little bit of powder right on the very tip. I'm kind of pushing it up into the nostril area. You know, you could also use a smaller brush, but like I was saying, the smaller the brush that you use, the less of a blend that you're gonna get. You really need the bushy part of the brush. And actually, I have another set of watercolor brushes that Renee sent me, the Kolinskis, that I probably could try out for blending. They're a little bit of a softer watercolor. Let me just show you guys. So these are the other round watercolors that they offer, and just comparing the bristles, let's just show you the bristle difference. So the Kolinskis are, trying to see, I'm just gonna show you that there's 2 different options here. This is a number 4, this is a number 5. But see the difference in the length of the bristles too? So the length is also kind of important, because if you use too long of a brush and you're working on a round area, then you may not get the kind of blend that you would if you were using a shorter type of a bristle. So like right here, I could come in and you can see how that brush really kind of spreads. The bristles really spread apart when you push down on it. Those are really helpful for blending. Because see, once I lay that color down and I come back with a little bit of a fluffier brush, it's really going to push that powder and make it have just a really nice seamless transition from one color to the next. Because you don't want, the thing is, you don't want any hard lines, you know. Now, you can absolutely blend with this, with these brushes. This is what we're using. These are great. I forgot that she sent me these, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I should try these Kolinskis out for blending, because they just are a little bit, I mean, look at this. It's so soft. I mean, that's gonna, that on a big project like the gnomes that we do sometimes, those big hats, those brushes are gonna be really, really nice. Jenny, you purchased a chalk set. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear how you think of it. You know, what you think of it, because I think they're the greatest thing ever. You know, I mean, that I just really can just change the whole dynamic of her face, of any of these pieces of faces, just by adding some contouring and some powder down here. So now that I've got this, my little line here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of try to round this bottom out here. And remember, when we're working in these areas, like here, this is an intersection. You guys will hear me refer to this a lot, where two places meet. So where this bottom cheek is meeting the top of the cheek right here, this little triangle area is called an intersection. This is what I call it. I don't know if there's a technical name for it, but I can see, like, looking at this up close, I can see right here I have a hard line right there. I don't want that. So, and I also see that right here in this corner, I don't really have a good blend. I still have some splotchiness right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and come back in. I'm gonna add a little bit more powder in my corner right here. I'm gonna pull that powder out just a little bit farther. Okay, let's just see here. I'll wipe my brush off and blend this out just a little bit more. I'm so bummed that I didn't go back and paint that green underneath from last night. I told you guys that would cover, but I also don't want to have a tremendous amount of powder down there. So I'm just gonna skip it and hope for the best here. So let's see, we're also gonna want to come right underneath the lips here. So we'll just start right in that little indentation of the mouth. Hi, Mary. Hi, Debbie. Floyd, hi. How are you? My gosh, you guys, thanks so much for watching. So again, I'm going to pop that little bit of powder right on the tip of my brush, and I'm just going to poke this little hole right here where her lips come in. Create a little divot right here in this part of her chin. If you think about when you're working with the face, you just want to break it in sections, right? You've got the cheeks, you got the chin, you've got under the nose, you have the nose bone, and then you have up here. So just kind of thinking about, like, I know when I get to this corner of the eye, I'm also going to have a shadow that goes up to the forehead, because I am going to have a shadow in the right underneath my eyebrow right here, and the eye bone, this little cavity right here. We are going to have to do a little bit of shading, but you can see as soon as I put my pastel powder over that, it kind of lightens the black up a little bit, but we have to have a shadow where her eye is. And this is why I was thinking next time I probably would wait and do her lashes very last. But I don't know, this was kind of like, I usually do the eyes very last, but I wanted to do those with you guys yesterday. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue up underneath the eye there. I want a shadow. Okay, and I'm just gonna continue working in slow, really slow little motions here. Really light texture and barely touching the powder to the piece. Okay, now I know this is gonna be, I'm gonna come all the way up with this because I'm gonna contour her nose a little bit, but I'm gonna do backwards contouring because I already have the light. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that color all the way up to her forehead. Gonna do it on this side too. I love the way her face is kind of all patchy right now. I really feel like I could have done something scary with this little girl. And the fact that it's supposed to be a boy, I just find that hilarious. I just don't even know, because to me she looks like a little girl, but they apparently have her painted as a boy in the sample, in the tech sheet sample. So all right, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to soften up this highlight here. I mean, this shadow underneath the hairline. You can see I got like some wonky little point here. So let's blend this out. Now remember, we're going to have a blend underneath the whole eyebrow here. I'm going to come back and really soften this up. You see, I haven't laid down any more powder. I'm just coming back and blending the powder we already laid down. Okay? This is important because you do not need a lot of powder. Such a small amount of powder is needed for these pastels. I'm going to go ahead and come all the way under her lip here. And you guys, I'm trying to read the comments as we go along, but it's really hard when hopefully nobody has any. What am I painting with? I'm just starting out and trying to learn. Okay, so this is just painted with acrylics. I used craft store paint. I usually paint with Deco Art acrylics. I get these at Michael's, but you can buy them on their website. You can get them at Hobby Lobby or Target, probably. I don't know, Walmart, I think, has them. And I just use store paints that, you know, people ask me all the time, how come I don't use ceramic paints? Because I didn't learn how to paint ceramics with ceramic paints. I learned how to paint ceramics with craft store paints. And so that's what I'm comfortable using. I would love to try like the Doc Holiday paints and stuff, but I never had access to those. And so, you know, I didn't even know they existed until I started working at the Paint Your Own Pottery shop, and I worked there for 3 years. We really only my boss didn't really like working with acrylics, so we only did the stroke and coat underglazes, which I love those. I wish I had a kiln of my own because I would probably use underglazes a lot more. But yeah, I mean, I didn't learn how to paint ceramics with like so-called ceramic paint. You know, everybody's like, well, they're made for ceramics. Okay, well, so are Deco Arts. It literally says on the bottle that they're tested for ceramics. So when people try to come at me and say, you're not supposed to use them on ceramics, I'm like, but I do every time. So tell me why I can't, because I'm doing it right now today. These are just PanPastels. I don't spray anything down before we use the PanPastels. They just go directly on the acrylic. I have heard people say that they have used these PanPastels to do the whole entire piece. Hi, Gail. Hi, Candace. But I would never do that. I like to dry brush first because that gives me a good starting point for where I'm going to lay my shadows and highlights down. If I already dry brush, then those shadows and highlights are kind of naturally on there for me. Then I'm just going to go back and accentuate what I've already put down. Okay, so I'm going to come back here into this corner. I'm going to switch back to this Kolinsky brush for a second. I want to try this thing out some more and see what kind of a blend I get over here. Because I feel like with the pastels, you know, you can never really have enough pastel brushes, and I really like the nice soft kind of blend I'm getting from that. It's really pulling those hard edges out really, really nicely a lot. I mean, that's really smooth. You guys, I mean, if I find one more Zem brush that I can't live without, I'm gonna go broke here, because now I'm just finding another brush. I like the idea of laying the color down with the black swirls, because they do have that longer bristle and a really nice tip, you know, pointed tip at the top. I really do love laying it down with that, but this is kind of a dreamy little blending tool right here, these Kolinskis. Oh my gosh. So that's really pulling that color into the cheek really nicely for me. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, wow, look at the difference between just this two sides. This one really blended out. This is how it started. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know if Renee has these like in stock. I'm not even sure, you guys. I've had these for a little bit. I've had them for a few weeks. I forgot I had them on my counter, but man, that really blends really nice. Okay, so I've got a nice blend on this side. Let's go blend this side out here. So we'll start over here. I'm so excited for Renee's master brush set raffle. Oh my gosh. I want to buy tickets, but I also don't, I mean, I would love to win, but I want one of you guys to win because I already have a lot of these brushes. And I cannot get over the difference that they make. It's really mind-boggling. I mean, I remember the Silver Falcon brushes, you know, in the 80s. Look at how it just blended that line right out there. Ooh, ooh, you guys, oh my God, I'm in love. Ah, oh my God, look at that. Oh man, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Holy macaroni. All right, let's see what's going on up here. Let's try to blend this out just a little bit here. Okay, and I'm going to come down onto the nose bone a little bit here. Let's just soften this side up a little bit. Go up underneath here. So you can see like here, I've still got a pretty hard line. So we'll go ahead and blend this out a little bit. I know that I was talking to Kira the other day about the Doc Holiday paints, and she told me that if I use those, I'll never use Deco Arts again. I'll never use like craft store paint again. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready. But I'm also finding out that these, like buying things that are made specifically for ceramics, like these brushes, when he told me that he really missed making brushes, because I don't know if you guys watched that video where I talked about talking with Steve. He's the owner of Zen Brushes, and he's the creator of all these brushes. He said he just, man, he really loved brushes, and his family had the Silver Falcon brushes back in the 80s, and everybody used them for ceramics. And I just remember thinking, how could there be brushes specifically for ceramics? That seems kind of weird. And then I rolled up on these little jewels, and man, oh man, they have been a complete game changer. So I'm laying down a little bit more powder here in this corner, because remember when I was dry brushing yesterday and I told you something was going on right here and my paint wasn't sticking very well, and I was gonna have to possibly have some issues when I got to that part with the pastels, and I can see that that's kind of why it's splotchy right there. I'm also going to pick up, I'm just going to pick up a tiny little bit more here in this corner of the eye. I'm going to darken up underneath the eye right here. I'm still using the Kolinsky brush, but just because I really want to blend this really nicely right here in this corner. So coming back up, you're kind of just going up underneath. Oh, look at how it's, oh my gosh, you guys. Look at how it's kind of already, it kind of naturally shapes to whatever you're working on. I am obsessed with these brushes. What color am I using now? And I'm still using Burnt Sienna. Haven't changed colors, still working on that same color. So I'm going to go ahead and get this color laid down. I feel like I might need a little bit of softer blend right here. And maybe a little bit more of a roundness in this corner. Okay, her nose looks pretty good. Let's just go a little bit more in this corner right here. Come over to the ear. I'll blend this out a little bit more here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna come over here and just blend this out to the ear. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so I'm not gonna spray it yet. Hi Susan, hi Karen. I'm gonna try the pastel. I think I'm gonna try the pearlescent orange, you guys, and see what it looks like on the cheeks. I think it will make a really cute blush color. If it doesn't work, I'm probably gonna have to go to orange, but this is pretty bright, and I don't know how this is gonna look on here. So we're gonna do it with the pearlescent. Okay, I'm gonna use the Kolinsky brush because it is a little bit of a more of a blender. If you had a brush like, I don't know, I guess some of the mop brushes might, if you had a small kind of mop brush like this, you could use this for the blush. You might even be able to use just a regular makeup brush, I don't know. So I'm gonna load some of this pearlescent up in here. I'm gonna load a lot. This is a ton, and then I'm gonna just wipe the excess off on this paper towel. Because the pearlescence, the more you work it into the brush, the more it's going to kind of work around. And I don't even know if this is gonna work, so we're gonna find out together. Okay, remember, our pastel powder is still live here, so we're just gonna go ahead and work on the inside of the cheek. Because I really kind of just want them to be like little baby, you know, little baby kids, little baby, sweet baby cheeks. You know, they're not meant to be like makeup. I don't want to contour and all that, but I think just having some fun little kind of pearlescent here. I'll work it up to the line of the burnt sienna, and then we'll kind of just work the two together. We'll kind of try to marry those two colors right here. But you don't want to get too far up into it because you don't want to pull that burnt sienna into the cheek color. I don't know if you guys can even tell. Can you see that very well? So what I might do is I might add just a little bit of regular orange to it where you still have the pearlescent powder, but you also have a little bit more color. So let's see. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm just going to add a little bit of orange to the bottom of this. Just a little bit of like an orange bottom, like a shadow almost, maybe. I really wish that I would have been able to do the eyes, but I feel like it's too late if I try to put eyeshadow on those lashes. It's gonna look weird. Okay, so now I want to come back up here. Let's try to blend these two lines together here. This is the most probably monotonous part, the blending, but it's probably my favorite part. I love to blend colors together, and it really makes a huge difference when you're using the correct brushes. So I'm going to pull up a little bit more here. So I can see that my underneath side of my, I can see the bright orange kind of right here. So I'm going to just come back and hit a little bit more bright orange here. And come up kind of to the ear bone. Kind of round this out a little bit here. She's got little cute little baby cheeks. I feel like really having both of these types of watercolor brushes is, I really like these Kolinskis for doing like this, like the makeup part, the blending. Excuse me. So I like that, pretty cute. Little orange cheeks. Match her little orange lipstick. You know, you could of course use pink or any of the other colors. There's lots of pearlescent. I mean, you don't have to use pearlescent, but if you want to use the pearlescents, there's several different colors in that kit. I don't use the pearlescents as much as I thought I would, just because they don't generally, they don't stick like I would like them to. And I don't know if it's because it's of the pearlescent part, or if it's because I'm just impatient painter. But I wish that they were a little bit more, what's the word? I guess I wish they were more concentrated like the regular PanPastels, because I find that when I use the pearlescents, I have to use quite a bit of powder. Like you can see how much powder. I don't normally have this much powder on there, but it's, you know, I feel like you have to use a lot to get it to kind of show up very well. Come back to this orange. Let's do a little bit of an orange right underneath on the bottom on this cheek too. Yeah, I like her little orange cheeks. I might put some freckles on her. I'm gonna do some stuff on her face, you guys. And I really would love to do some plaid on those shoes, but I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that off. I'm not a miracle worker, Jim. I don't know how it would look with drawing that curvature. I don't know. I guess I will have to try it out and see. So just coming back, I can see I've got a pretty hard line there, so I'm going to want to blend a little more. Okay, I like that. That's pretty cute. I may have to blend this up a little more here. Orange looks pretty cute on her cheeks. Does kind of pull that color from the pumpkin to her face. And I like that underneath, the darker on the bottom. It kind of contours the cheek a little bit more. Oh my gosh, she's looking so cute. I can't imagine painting her a boy, you guys. I don't know. I mean, I looked at her and I thought for sure she was a little girl. I don't know. She doesn't look like a boy to me, but. All right. I think that's probably good. That face looks pretty cute. I am going to, let me go spray her face really quick. I'll come back. Wait 1 second, please. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Polystyrene for my packing is blocking my door. Okay, let me go spray the face and then I'll come back and we'll do some details on her. Okay, I know that we have talked about the spray before, you guys. I left the bottle out there, but for those of you guys who don't know, the spray sealer that we use is the Krylon matte finishing spray. Not this one. This is the clear, triple thick clear glaze. Definitely do not use this. But it's made by Krylon. It's called matte finishing spray, and I just left the bottle out there. But that's what you're going to want to spray seal your pastels down with, because you can't use a brush on sealer. When you're done with the matte finish, then you can come back and you can actually add more layers of powder if you need to. Like if I want to come back and maybe I want to try to put a little bit more pastels on the top part of her cheek. Shoot, now I'm going to have to go spray it again. But I just want to show you guys that if you're spraying it, and I'll grab the bottle while I'm out there. That was dumb that I left it out there. But once you're done with all of your stuff, then if you want to come back with like this is that triple thick, really clear, that makes it look like you used underglazes. Then you can come back and do a final spray with this if you want it to be really glossy. I'll grab the bottle because now I have to respray her cheeks. Hold on. Okay, this is the matte finishing spray. I buy this at Michael's, or I think there's a link. I don't know if I have this on my website because I'm an affiliate partner with Dick Blick Art Supplies. So the PanPastels and the Golden High Flow Acrylic, and I'm pretty sure I have this spray on my website too. So if you buy it from Dick Blick, I'm an affiliate, so I do make a commission on sales when you buy from the link on my website. But that would be the one. So you could use this multiple times. I've sprayed pastels, probably as many as 8 times on one piece to do a layering. And this stuff, by about the time you get to 8 sprays, that's probably like, you know, your pastels are starting to wean and they're not really sticking when you get to that many sprays. But then when you're done, you can finish it off with something like that. Okay? So, I was thinking, definitely going to have to figure, I don't know what happened right here last night. I guess I touched got paint in my nails. My nails look so gross. But I got white on there, so I was going to see if I could cover that up with the pastel powder. And then I was thinking I would paint some little ghosts on this boo bag. So I have some Liquitex. This is just gesso, white gesso. I'm going to use this because if I use regular white acrylic paint for this, it's going to not cover this very well. It might take multiple coats. But if I use this gesso first, and I'm just going to use the gesso because, I mean, I'm not going to paint white over the top of it again. But this is going to cover much better than just the white acrylic paint. Because this is kind of like it primes the surface of whatever you're working on. Just looking for the brush I want to use. Sorry, one second. So I've got this this is a number 2 Black Swirl Filbert. This is in the kit that has the base coating brushes in it, I believe, or this one might be in the detail kit. I don't know, you guys. I ordered so many brushes. These are washes, so it doesn't come in this kit, but probably comes in the detail kit. It's a number 4400 series, acrylic and watercolor. So I'm just going to use that little filbert. I'm going to try to create some little ghosts on this bag. Well, I better do it on the back in case I don't like it. So I'm just going to do a little, just like that. Nothing crazy, nothing with a lot of detail. And because it's round at the top, I'm already kind of getting that, you know, that ghost shape. I just thought that because I wrote Boo on her shirt and her bag says Boo, that it might be cute to put some little ghosts on there. And then I'm also going to show you a little trick. And see, this is already white, you guys, so I'm not going to go back and add more, like go over it with white again. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use this, my little white primer. Let's see if I can, should I get one on this side maybe? Let's just see. Do one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna rinse my brush. Hope you guys are enjoying this. What do you think about her so far? I just think she's the cutest thing ever. Okay, I'm gonna grab some of my detail brushes. I'm gonna use this 20/0 again. This is the one we used last night. This time I'm gonna pick up some of this white high flow acrylic because I'm gonna do some lining on the pumpkin. And actually, let me shake this up because I remember last night I didn't shake it up very well. I use the white and the black, you guys, for detailing. These are two must-haves in my paint arsenal, and the black especially I use more of than anything, but the white I'm using a lot more. The white works really, really great for things like stitches, like if you're putting a, if you're painting like something that's got stitch ink on it, like fabric stitching. So I've got some of that high flow acrylic on my paint tray here. I'm gonna come back in with my number, this is my number 20/0 from the details kit. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna highlight these eyes. So I'm just gonna paint a white line. This is my highlight line on the top. This is basically the top of my cut, right? If you think about where the light is. You're always gonna have a highlight and a shadow. So let's see, how do I wanna do it? I wanna do it on this side. So I'll go on the right side every time. I love these liner brushes. I still need to do more shaking of this paint. I don't know what happened. Oh man. Okay, and then we'll do along the top. Remember I said that I went over the line on this side? Well, maybe I would try to cover it up. Let's see what happens. I really did not shake it up enough even that time because it's still really watery. It's not covering the paint very well. But I also don't want to put it over the black because I did use the black high flow acrylic. You can see where it's splitting right there. That's because I did not shake the paint up well enough. I'll come back and add another layer right there. Okay, then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do a highlight line on the right side of each of these letters, okay? Man, I might have to, let me just see, hold on a second. Because that is really watery. Let me wipe it off and start over. Uno momento, por favor. Okay. I'm gonna grab, because it is really, I need to really, that's a brand new bottle and I really need to shake it for like 2 minutes. I grab some regular. Let's do it on this side. Okay, I'm just doing it on the right side of the letters here. Sorry, the left side. I'm doing it on the left side of the letter. Because if I was doing this as lettering, I would have the highlight would be on the left side of the letter. And then the shadow would be on the right side over here. So let's go, I'm gonna go back in and add this layer on this top right here. Let's cover this up. That high flow usually covers much better than that, but I obviously did not shake it up well enough. Okay, and then I've got to do the little exclamation mark here. Just like that, that's easy. Okay, now, what else do I want to do? I don't know if I want to tackle plaid, you guys, on those shoes. I'm gonna rinse this brush really quick. I'm gonna grab my little daughter tool. I'm gonna grab the smallest one that I have, which is this number 3. And I'm gonna grab some black. And I'm gonna go do our little, let's put our little eyes on the booze. Start on the back, just in case. I'm just doing 3 little dots. You might want to put your paint back in the, put your tool back in the paint for the mouth, because you do want the mouth to be a little bit bigger than the eyes. I was just thinking, what can I do on this? You're okay, Jenny. You're okay. You never have to apologize because it's late there. I appreciate you watching and being involved in the videos. You can always come back and finish watching it tomorrow or whenever. It'll be on here for 30 days. Try not to touch that pumpkin because I don't want to mess up the white on the face. Wow, it's 8 o'clock already. Oh my gosh, I should have got on way earlier. Now I'm trying to rush. And really, we didn't even shade her little, her hands and her legs. How long have I been online? It doesn't show me how long I've been online for. Okay, so that looks pretty cute. So I like the boo bag. Everything looks good on the front. I like her little cheeks. Oh, I was gonna put some freckles on there. Let's put some freckles. I've got some, where is it? I'm gonna use honey brown because this is the color that one of the browns we used in the for this set. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up some of that brown with this same number 3 tool. Let's just put some little freckles on her face. Definitely need a couple on her nose here. I'm just kind of putting them randomly wherever. Got a weird number there. I don't know, I love little freckles on their faces. Does she look like she has chicken pox now? I don't care, you guys. I think she's so cute. I love her. I love that she's a girl too. Okay, I'm gonna do one last little bit of pasteling. Let me go back to my my number. I want to go back to the number 5. If you guys want to keep watching, I'll just keep rolling because I do want to do her hat. And the top part of the pumpkin here. Oh my gosh, she does look like she has chicken pox now. Oh my gosh, hilarious. But I don't care. I don't care. All right, let me scoot this camera up a little bit because I'm going to have to try to get... the whole camera on the top here. All right, so I've got permanent red is the color I'm going to be working with for the shadows on the pumpkin. So we'll kind of, I guess we'll start up here. So what I would do is I would start around the base here. Just kind of lay my color around the stem. To start. This is a really weird angle to be trying to get in the camera. So I'm probably not going to work too much on the back there because I'll definitely put my hand in that. So working around the base, once I get my color laid down there, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of create like a circular, like a triangle type of a shape here, just like this, down each one of these. So it's going to be dark up here. And then we're going to shadow individually each one of these little sections. So lay my color down, pull it down into this, pull it down into this, and create kind of a little round shadow right there. If you want to come all the way down in your creases, you know, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to pull that color down. Come back and blend. Come over on this side. Okay, well, it looks pretty good for this front side. Come down a little bit more here. You know, really what ideally I would do, and I just don't think I have enough time. But I would come down and I would shade like right around here with the red too. But I'm going to leave it like this because I really want those ends to be bright orange. So then coming back to the pumpkin, I should buy a little, oh, I will after I'm done. Like I have to shade her hands and feet, or her hands and legs first before I add freckles. I'll do that and then come back. So we'll go ahead and push this red up into these creases here. And this is where we're really gonna clean up that excess paint that I made mistakes on, like right here. Hopefully we're gonna be able to cover up that green right there. So I'm gonna have to go back and add another coat of white on this pumpkin too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that base coat, that initial color laid down up underneath the shirt. And then I'm just gonna pull that color down into these grooves. So still want a significant amount of powder up in here, but then we want a nice seamless blend of color from one, transition from one color to the next. So that covers up a lot of that green that I got on the pumpkin when I was dry brushing in such a hurry like I do. Okay, so I've got my little intersection here where the arm and the arm is meeting the shirt is meeting the pumpkin. So I'm gonna pull that powder from right there. Pull that down a little bit here. Just really trying to blend that red out. Okay, I'll flip around here. I definitely touched this ghost right here. Oh, you guys, it's so fun. It's so fun. I love it when I mess up stuff with you guys on a live. That's always a good time. Okay, I come down here. Let's cover up as much of this purple as we can. I really got it on there. Okay, and then I'm going to come in from the underneath side. And this is where we can really soften the shadow up down here. Again, this is like really an extra step, but if you really want that deep dark shadow on the underneath side, come down, lay that color in, and then just kind of come back and blend that out. See how that looks. I'm gonna probably go and add a little shadow up underneath the eye as well. This is where I kind of was hoping I could cover it up, that little mistake that I made there where I put my finger in the paint, but I don't really know how I'm gonna be able to do that. Just do a little shadow up underneath the eye. Shadow up underneath the nose. A little shadow up underneath the mouth. I'll blend this out a little bit. So you guys see these things take a long time to complete when you add the pastels and all the highlights and stuff. I'm so annoyed about this. I wonder if I can just kind of go over it a little bit with a little bit of red in my brush. Pick up some right here. So I don't think it'll take very much to make it kind of not so noticeable. That's the only thing I hate about acrylics is if you make a mistake, you can forget about it. Once it dries, it's on there. Whereas like underglazes, if I make a mistake, I can just wash the paint off and start over. I don't do that though, because you guys know I'm not a fan of repainting, starting over and repainting. You got to trust the process. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I feel comfortable with that. I'm going to leave that as the stopping point for tonight. I am going to go back and do my one more coat over the top of this black because I can still see the black showing through. Also, I just put my pinky in the powder. So you got to be really careful about that because these powders are live until you spray them down. So you don't want to place your finger in them and then move the powder around somewhere else. I don't know, to me the white just makes the orange pop so much more. Took my glasses off, so I went over the line. Yeah, I think that looks cute. That turned out good. I like that. Put a little thing on the... So yeah, I'll do some, I guess, some freckles on her hands and legs after I do some shading on the body. And I really do want to try this, the plaid on the shoes. I just don't know if I have the... I don't know if I trust that it will look good, and I might ruin it. But I could also, you know, just do my trick of using the... Let me just show you guys really quick, because I would just use a pastel pencil. Like, I haven't sharpened this one, but just like a white charcoal pencil. And you could do it with green too, because the shoes are green. So, sorry, I'm just going to sharpen this real quick because this is a brand new pencil. I just want to show you how I would do it. So if you ever want to try something without actually painting it on there, you can use just a charcoal or a piece of chalk, just actually like a chalk pencil. You know, that's what I'm going to get ready to use here. Let me just test it out and make sure it's gonna... I like to test it on an inconspicuous place just to make sure it's gonna rub off okay. And it does. Okay, so what I would do is I would come down to the shoes and I would create my lines with the chalk pencil, my plaid lines. And maybe I'll go in between this way. Okay, so I've got my initial lines there. Now I can come back and go this way. Maybe you want 3 lines. Maybe you want 2 going this way. 2 close together here. Like, there's literally so many ways you can do plaid, you guys. And just doing it with the pastel pencil first will get your lines worked out of where you want everything. I'm doing 2 lines close together just for this demo. I guess that would be how I would kind of do it. So just looking at it, there is a way to put plaid on there, and I think that looks kind of cute. So what I was thinking I would do would be like orange, purple, and black, maybe plaid on here. And I also can't forget I haven't sprayed the pastels down yet, so those are live on there. So I'm gonna set this down. If I decide that I'm going to do the plaid on here, I'll just record that as like a reel or whatever so you guys can see how I do it. But that's how I would do it. You just need like a white charcoal pencil like this, and then it just wipes off when you're done. You know, use something that's not going to be too inconspicuous just in case, depending on what kind of charcoal you use. This is a Mark color. I'm not sure where this came from. Renee gave everybody one of these in our Dimple Fest bags. But just a regular pastel pencil work too, or even just chalk. Just chalk will work fine. So let me see, what does this question say? The ceramic companies and Clay Magic definitely need you on their team. Oh, you're funny. You guys are funny. I love that. I love that you have such high faith in me, but I don't think that Clay Magic would ever hire me. That's funny. You guys are funny. I love your faith in me, though. I do. All right. So I think that's pretty good for tonight. I'm going to sign off and go spray this little cutie, and probably going to do some plaid on this little girl tomorrow on the shoes, and finish pasteling her legs and hands and the backside. And this is only one piece in that like 20-piece set that we're working on, so it's going to take a little time to finish that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you enjoy videos like this, want more videos like this, and don't forget to like and share this in some of your ceramic groups if they allow it. I understand there are some groups who are no longer allowing posts from people who are not in the group, which I find really, I don't know, offensive, I guess, because you guys are the ones who suffer when you can't share pieces, you know, share how to do things, especially these free videos. You know, I give you guys these free videos, and hopefully sharing them in the ceramics groups get other people to see that they can also do this. You guys, I've been showing you these tutorials for so long, and I do the same thing every time. I'm literally not doing anything different, same technique every time. So I'm sorry that that's happening, but I hope that you guys do find these videos helpful. And if you can, like and share them with people that you might find them helpful. I certainly appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys for being with me for so late tonight, and we'll see you in the next video.